What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be taking a look at this week's forecast, seeing what the stars have in store for us. So, let's get into it. As always, shout out to all the Sagittarius celebrating birthdays this week. Pay close attention to this energy as it will be with you all year. We are kicking this week off with a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Gemini. And this is very important. Right now, we are counting down to the winter solstice, where a Jupiter and Saturn conjunction will occur in the sign of Aquarius. And this eclipse season is a time period, a karmic time period of energy that will last the next 6 months. So the themes of this, or energies presented in this full moon, will serve us greatly in asserting ourselves in this early part of 2021. As always, I'm going to give an overview, and you can take what I say and personally apply it to where this full moon and these other energies are within your own chart. Okay? Also, as a friendly reminder, with the sun transiting a fire sign, this is a great time for direct action and exploration. Mars now direct, we want to take action towards trumping our fears, okay? Actualizing and putting into practice our knowledge, which will then result as wisdom, okay? So a very important time period. Don't get stuck in limbo land. If you don't know, full moons are a time of great manifestation, realization, where we really look at our wants versus our needs. And most importantly, we're able to release what no longer serves us. Now, the Gemini Sagittarius axis is the axis of the lower mind and the higher mind. It's how we perceive things and what we believe in. Okay? So when it comes to a release of things, you really want to take into account your perception and how you look at yourself in relation towards others, whether it be regarding your beauty, your intellect, or whatever. And you want to release any perceptions or thoughts that have turned, limiting thoughts or perceptions that have turned into actual beliefs. And you want to inject more optimism into your belief in the things that you are doing. And the key is here to focus on more of what gives you joy, or what you perceive to be your truth. It is about living in that truth. So if you are really passionate about like astrology and spirituality, and you are failing to really be as grounded as you need to be, like whether it be doing something once a week that is spiritual or whatever, you're not really living that truth. So you want to take this time to, whatever that truth is, whatever that thing that brings you joy in that realm, seek to live it on an everyday basis, or right now work it into your schedule. Then with Gemini is about the learning aspect of it, the open-mindedness, what works and what doesn't. I'm listening to person A and I'm listening to person B. I can see where they're both coming from, but what truth can I propose from taking in both, or which truth is going to help me live better or be more grounded? So like I said, we want to focus on these thought forms. All right, now in terms of the key thing here is to focus and make goals going forward. So with the nodes here, like I said, North Node in Gemini is about cultivating new skills, communicating, finding new ways of communicating, opening up your mind to a wide variety of things, seeing yourself from a different lens. So these can be one of the things that you put your intent behind, developing a new skill, reinventing yourself, okay? And then as far as the South Node aspect of that, to arrive at that, there will be things that you need to eliminate, but there will also be things that you would need to go back and relearn or observe again, and you can put it into a greater perspective. All right? So nonetheless, this can be a very restless time period, as Sagittarius and Gemini are very restless signs. Also, when we look at the energy layout of this full moon lunar eclipse, it's very interesting from the standpoint that there are two significant oppositions. One being the sun opposing the moon, conscious mind, subconscious mind, wants, needs, all of that, outer, inner. Then we have Venus opposing Uranus, which is representative of our relationship with others. And you look at Uranus, it's almost like a collective vision, okay? And to those two oppositions, both the sun and the moon are forming quincunxes with individual planets. The sun forming a quincunx to Uranus, and the moon forming a quincunx to Venus in Scorpio. This is very interesting of a standpoint of going forward. And I feel like it equates to this. There's a transformation that needs to occur regarding everyone individually. Everyone has their own thing that they're trying to change, a relationship towards, the psychology of their soul, and attachments, whether that be to love, whether that be to security, substances, whatever. That battle that Venus is engaging in within Scorpio ultimately affects the individual's personal value system, and the change in that personal value system offers liberation. Now, just as we apply it to our own individuality, we can apply this collectively as a theme. So we know that here in the States, we have a new president, and there's going to be a lot of transitioning occurring, going from one regime to the next. So that same change of policies or whatever are going to affect our values going forward. So we can, expect a lot of change financially, and, as far as things like loans, more people needing loans, and possibly even accruing debt, some being diminished, a lot going on, right? So always, I'm saying this because you want to look at it in the individual terms, but the same can be applied when you look at it from the collective sphere. So you have that opposition, and then obviously we have the sun and the moon. And like I just said previously, it's really your ability to actualize your knowledge is what's going here. So the more you do that, the more you feed your curiosity and your need for knowledge and information, and you put that into a truth, the more at peace you will be, the more purposeful you will feel. All right, so these are all themes going forward. Now when we look at the quincunxes are to some extent tension, or it's letting you know that like these two puzzle pieces don't fit together. So when we look at the sun in Sagittarius versus Uranus in Taurus, we see that within this new truth is our need for freedom, right? Or our need to kind of like not pay attention to the details, you know, fire signs see the bigger things, is going to conflict with that ability to transcend. There's going to have to be an extra care taken within that regard. In a more individual sense, this reads that the change to live our truth won't necessarily align with the value systems of maybe the country or the standard. Okay, so for some, there's going to be a conflict in, you know, applying that, or it's going to be a conflict in finding your tribe or group, right? This is also going to manifest in like a lot of rebellious energy, a need to go against the grain, which the Sagittarius energy is going to help here because it's mutable. And the more you explore, the more you're able to, you know, grasp. So what you want to do in this regard is to fight your fixed nature in regards to certain things. So ultimately, with these quincunxes, you're not going to get your way. And you'll see what I mean when I cover the next quincunx. You're not going to get your way. To some extent, some sacrifice is going to be needed. Now, we look at the quincunx of the moon and Venus. And this here, so the moon here is in Gemini, and then Venus is in Scorpio. Venus is passionate. It's deep. It wants something at that level, wants to merge. Gemini is on the surface. Gemini is observing. Gemini is trying to mix and mingle. So in a collective sense, there's going to be the need to find that tribe or that place, right? And in doing so, you can't commit to, basically what I'm saying, there are going to be issues in terms of commitment. For people pursuing certain endeavors and trying to find their niche or trying to find their tribe, they're going to find that conflicts with other areas of their life that are demanding more attention or in this case, it's turned Scorpio, more intimacy. So another way in which the moon quincunx Venus will manifest during this time is that it will be difficult to communicate things that you feel deeply about, or possibly things that are considered taboo or deep, dark within nature. But at the same time, I feel like there is going to be an emergence of voices in people expressing their truth. And this could come in a lot of different ways. So to some extent, going back to these quincunxes, which are both influencing the opposition of Sagittarius and Gemini, all that chatter can create confusion. It can create confusion in terms of which school of thought or group to align yourself with. My best advice is to literally follow the passion. Tune into your intuitive compass and understanding the things that bring you peace of mind or joy. Okay? And I'll say another thing. Financially, it can really, that opposition can really signify lots of ups and downs or sudden financial come-ups or financial losses, right? So you'll have to, like I said, fight the urge to not pay attention to the details and to be balanced in your approach. Then we add in the Neptune layer to this conversation, the fact that Neptune is now direct and still squaring the nodes. I'm always under the belief that, mind you, I have Neptune retrograde natally. I kind of feel like Neptune naturally operates a little better when it's retrograde. But there, just like with everything, it has its good and its bad. But with Neptune now direct, there's more of a desire to trump your illusion or kind of take control. Whereas in the retrograde, you could feel you kind of could just ride the wave of Neptune and not really be grounded. So there with Neptune back direct, there's a chance for increased effort in regards towards these things. But at the same time, all of this can add towards being very confused. So you're going to really need to be leaning on your spirituality. And one of the things that Neptune, to me, square the nodes represents is the striving to gain that knowledge, the striving to acquire it, and then the striving to actualize it. So you can learn things, you can learn all the things you want, but if you never practically apply them, no results. So there's going to be a desire to actualize, but it can also be a struggle. So you just really have to kind of fight and swim through it. And then, but I do think there will be easier things. I'll make a note, in combination with the quarantine and the Neptune retrograde, I found myself clinging to little comforts that I don't normally do. Like being more fond of a glass of wine, you know what I'm saying, in the evening, or sweets, right? Something, just, whatever represents a sense of escape or whatever. With Neptune retrograde, we've been clinging to those things a little bit more. So with it back direct, you'll be able to discipline yourself or strive for that discipline a little bit more. So there's a lot here. And this influence is going to be here for a while. So my big suggestion, people, is to really have some goals for the next 6 months. Like I said this in previous video, start looking ahead to 2021 and seek to be in alignment and be prepared to make the changes that need to be made. All right, so y'all, this is my interpretation of this week's full moon lunar eclipse. Feel free to chime in. Let me know what's going on in your world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do so now. If you need a reading, holla at me. Till next time, peace.